Hello and welcome to Clearview Television. We are reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. First, the headlines. Peter Obi emerges as Labour Party presidential candidate as Senator Orji Uzor Kalu cautions APC against fielding Southern presidential candidate against Atiku. You are a local champion. Former DG Nimasa Dakuku Peterside blasts Governor Wike in the aftermath of the PDP National Convention. Embattled Accountant General of the Federation in another 90 billion naira money laundering mess. I am Nkiru Obuli with the details. The National Convention of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) has come and gone, but the memories of the sights and sounds linger. We start our news today with a review of the last-minute intrigues involving the presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar and two other aspirants, Governors Wike and Tambuwal. Not just that, we are also looking at the possibility of Atiku feeling comfortable with firebranding Yesum Wike as his vice and more.
The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the 2023 elections, ex-Vice President Atiku Abubakar, has intensified consultations towards picking a running mate. Atiku was among callers at the Maitama residence of Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal, where he went to personally express gratitude to the governor for stepping down for him. One of the first set of reactions at the convention ground was by Kogi-born politician Dino Melaye, who lifted Tambuwal up.
I was saying earlier that there was...
We heard the PDP candidate has been reaching out to party leaders and his political associates as he begins to look hard at names being suggested to him as running mates. A source familiar with the development who confided in our correspondent said, "Several names are being thrown up. The candidate is keeping his thoughts to himself for now. However, we believe he is interested in making a choice that will first unite the party as we go into elections." Supporters of the People's Democratic Party under the aegis of PDP Frontiers have urged the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, to consider Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike as running mate. According to the party supporters, a combination of Atiku and Wike will not only unite the party, but also go a long way in ensuring that the PDP returns to power in 2023. Okay, we have not heard anything yet from Wike. And as at the time of this report, no statement or congratulatory message from him. Some political observers believe he may be rehearsing how to take Tambuwal to the cleaners. This, of course, is his usual characteristic when he is not pleased. However, without mincing words, Tambuwal said, "I did not betray Wike, I only supported my brother." Now let's watch some past outbursts of Wike, which may even be jolting Atiku to say, "Hey, this, my running mate?"
I thank God. All of you resisted it. And you say enough is enough. Let me tell you now, I have come here today to let you know I'm going to give you every support. My people are with me. But now that people have come, you should give me that, my brother, things are not well. Not so. Protect your vote. Not so. Operation protect your... Operation protect your... Forward people, bomber to... I challenge, let one state say they've given more vote to PDP than Rivers State. So why won't you be proud of that? Why won't you talk? Thunder fire them.
And now for a trip to Kogi State, where the difference between Godfather and God the Father has been analyzed. We can see Senator Smart Adeyemi kneeling down by Governor Yaya Bello, but he still lost. When in fact, if you had knelt down by God the Father, chances are that you will scale through. Godfather is human, while God the Father is divine. In all, At the end of the day, having watched the primaries with keen interest, Clearview TV is out to sell a book. You want to buy? It looks like the most relevant book now.
In the meantime, Senator Orji Uzakalu has warned the All Progressives Congress (APC) to avoid fielding a southerner for the 2023 presidential race, as it could lead the party into political obscurity. Kalu's opinion on Sunday was hinged on the fact that the main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, elected a northeasterner in the person of Atiku Abubakar to be its flag bearer in the 2023 presidential race. The Senate chief whip, in a statement, congratulated the PDP for electing the former vice president, but however noted that the victory in the PDP's presidential primary election meant that Nigerians have understood his political calculations about 2023. According to him, with Atiku's emergence, it is no longer feasible to talk about southern candidates, except the APC wants to go on political retirement. Former Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Dakuku Peterside, has called out Nyesom Wike, that is the governor of Rivers State, referring to him as a local champion. This comes after Wike lost his bid to become the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The former APC governorship candidate in Rivers State accused Governor Nyesom Wike of wasting 30 billion naira of state funds on the People's Democratic Party's primary election. The outcome of the PDP presidential primary on Saturday in Abuja, according to Peterside, proved that Wike was only a local champion with insufficient experience to compete in national politics. The former NIMASA boss congratulated Atiku Abubakar on his victory in the PDP presidential nomination in a statement. He urged Wike to submit himself to Atiku for instruction on how to play high-stake politics, adding that he should shed his toga of pride and submit himself to Atiku to be tutored on the dynamics of national politics and the angles to high-wire deals. Dakuku declared that for Wike to have dipped his hands that deep into Rivers' treasury to pursue his vaulting ambition is a confirmation of his earlier assertion that Wike's governorship represents all-time low moments since the state was created on May 27, 1967. Ebonyi State Governor and All Progressives Congress APC presidential aspirant Dave Umahi says he has the pedigree to defeat the People's Democratic Party's presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar in the 2023 polls. Umahi was speaking in Abakaliki on Sunday while playing host to the national leadership of the Nigerian Union of Journalists (NUJ) and Nigerian Union of Women Journalists (NAWJ). Governor Umahi told the national leaders of the media unions that he stands shoulder high above every other presidential aspirant and candidate in terms of his pedigree and credentials. The governor, whose APC party has again postponed its national convention, can only challenge the PDP candidate, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, at the 2023 presidential election if he emerges the APC standard bearer in a matter of days when the APC would have completed its presidential primary.
Let APC give me this ticket. I will defeat Atiku before 12 o'clock during the day of election. I will defeat him because we have to put our pedigrees before Nigerians. We have to put our age before Nigerians. Any day I don't go out to supervise project, I'll become sick. Even last night by 10 o'clock, I went out to supervise project. When I'm in Abuja, my heart is here. I run my projects early in the morning and late in the night. It's my passion for the people. It's my calling of God.
The two unions are in Ebonyi State, Southeast Nigeria, for their quarterly Central Working Committee meetings. While making a presentation, the NUJ President, Chris Isigozo, called on the electorate to assess and consider the track record of all aspirants and candidates before casting their votes.
We must begin to question leaders that are aspiring to lead. Before we encourage anybody to take over the mantle of leadership at any level, we must ask questions about the person's pedigree, about the person's antecedents, about the person's capacity, about the person's capabilities.
Peter Obi has been declared the winner of the Labour Party's presidential primary election as his contender Pat Utomi stepped down for him. Pat Utomi promised to bring other political parties into the Labour Party. Recall that Peter Obi left the People's Democratic Party (PDP) just days to the primary and pit tents with the Labour Party. And as residents of Ekiti State count down to the governorship election in the state, Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, has arrived at Ekiti, the state's capital, in continuation of his engagement with stakeholders ahead of the governorship election. The INEC boss said his visit is to evaluate the level of preparedness of the electoral umpire for the statewide election. Yakubu also disclosed that he will use the opportunity of the visit to assess the readiness for the election. Mahmoud also noted that bimodal voters accreditation devices for the election has been configured and a mock exercise will take place.
First thing is to assure the people of Ekiti that the next governorship election is holding on Saturday, the 18th of June 2022. So the purpose of this visit is to tour our facilities and assess the readiness of our Ekiti office for the election and to meet the stakeholders. This is the first visit. The second visit will come closer to the election when we hold our stakeholders meeting as well as the signing of the peace accord. Another very important thing we are going to do is that this is the second major election that we are deploying the bimodal voter accreditation system. The second governorship election, all the machines have been deployed to Ekiti State. They have all been configured, and interestingly, we're also going to conduct a mock in the three senatorial zones. We have selected a few local government areas, and that will be tomorrow. It's all part of the readiness assurance for the election holding on the 18th of June. Thank you.
Before leaving the state, the INEC chairman is expected to hold meetings with traditional rulers in the state and also kick off the mock exercise of the bimodal voters accreditation exercise. Every 27th May is set aside for the celebration of Ibera Day. This particular day was carefully chosen by the Proudly Anebura group to reflect and be joyous over the positive development and growth, as well as sorrow over its negative moves, and most importantly, thank God for the journey so far while figuring out a way forward. This day coincides with Children's Day, so most family members are around to be part of the celebration. The chairperson of the 10th Anniversary Committee, Juliet Moneme, said the celebration of Proudly Anebura Group and Award of Excellence is another opportunity to pledge the group's readiness for effective service to its members and their communities in general. Clearview TV's Imefon Okon has the details.
It was a day of joy as sons and daughters of Igbira land came out in their numbers to celebrate their 10 years anniversary in Abuja. Chairperson, 10th Anniversary Committee, Juliet Okibayi Moneme, said the anniversary gives them the much-needed opportunities to recollect past memories and cherish them again.
We organize this program to celebrate the gift of life and the gift of each other. It is worth nothing that some people headed by Abu Iman, popularly called Mayor, initiated this group. And with the blessings of Almighty God, it is where it is today. It is due to such dreams which transformed to a vision and finally became a reality, aided by their perseverance and their blessings, that we have expanded thus far.
These sons and daughters of the soil expressed appreciation to God for counting them among the living to celebrate the day.
Proudly Anambra is just a mere group we just started as a collection of Igbira elites, young, old, together to help ourselves, support ourselves, unify ourselves, find in us those that need support and assistance, those that have achieved in their various endeavors. We put together every one of us, celebrate ourselves all the time. That's what we do basically.
Today, more than ever, I'm proud to be an Ibira woman, and I'm proud to have people of like minds that are Anibiras.
Highlights of the event included cultural performance and award presentations to Governor Yahya Bello and other sons and daughters of Igbira for their outstanding contributions to the development of their fatherland.
I'm therefore very proud to be a recipient of this recognition and seize the opportunity to assure that I will continue to be part of it, I will continue to identify, I will continue to show in all ways and all manners possible that what you are doing deserves not just support, but it deserves a lot of encouragement.
Apparently happy with the turn of events, especially with their son at the helms of affairs as the governor of Kogi State. The group said their coming together is a child of necessity, which was formed at a time when all hopes of saving the land was almost lost due to attendant abuses of its heritage, dignity, and glory of Igbira people. Imefon Okon reporting for Clearview Television.
Over the years, President Muhammadu Buhari's administration has generated mixed reactions from Nigerians, as some feel he has not lived up to his promises of providing Nigerians with positive change in key sectors in the country, while others believe his administration made some achievements worthy of note. Sunday, May 29, 2022 marked the 7th anniversary of President Muhammadu Buhari as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. As Nigerians count down to the end of his remaining 1 year in office, Clearview TV's Gloria Atta spoke to some Abuja residents on what they will tell him if they are given an opportunity to meet Nigeria's #1 citizen.
President Muhammadu Buhari was elected into office in 2015 on the platform of the All Progressives Congress (APC) after defeating the then-incumbent President Goodluck Jonathan of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). In his inaugural address, he had promised Nigerians that his administration would focus on the economy, corruption, and security. But as the years rolled by, observers noted that his administration failed to justify the massive support it had gathered from Nigerians hoping for positive change in these key areas. Despite these challenges, some observers, however, argue that President Buhari's administration has recorded successes in areas of policy reforms, infrastructural development, to mention a few. Speaking on what they will tell President Buhari with the end of his tenure fast counting down, some Nigerians feel the remaining 1 year is an opportunity for restitution. They therefore called on President Buhari to focus on fulfilling his remaining promises and leaving a good legacy that Nigerians will remember him for.
So somebody that did not do anything for good 7 years, what did you accept him to do? For the remaining 1 year, I don't have anything more than that.
His time is almost up, so the best he can do now is to ensure that the system produce a president and no longer godfatherism. He should allow everything to play, give power back to the people.
He has done well in terms of infrastructure and some other things, but you know, the issue of this security is an issue of concern, and that is the only thing that I think I need to if I have opportunity to see him, I can be able to say something about it.
If I had the opportunity to meet him, I'll tell him, please, those things that you know that you have not done well. If you see anyone, or if you notice that someone is sabotaging your effort as a minister or anywhere, a DG, fire him immediately. Get someone who will get this country working again. I'll tell me a lot of things, but two things are very important: leadership, somebody who's going to succeed him. That's one, and then the things he knows that he couldn't do well in the last 7 years. Let him begin. It's not too late. He can do them. He can finish well. He can finish strong.
Seriously, I'm disappointed with Buhari. Very, very disappointed with him. I wish he did better than this.
He has already done his tenure, and all the promises he make, we never see anything. So as for me, I feel like we voted the wrong person. I don't have any advice to even tell him. I'm sorry for that. As you can see, they are no longer bothered about social development or any infrastructure. All they are after is who is going to be the next president. We pray to God that Nigeria will be okay. But as for Buhari, I don't have any hope for Buhari again.
Looking at the whole thing on ground, he has not really done anything. And if I'm opportune to meet with him one-on-one or in person, I can only tell him, Mr. President, you've really failed, because we, the people you are leading, like under you, we haven't benefited anything from you so far.
A common saying states that there is light at the end of the tunnel. It is therefore hoped that at the end of Buhari's administration come May 29, 2023, the light of good tidings will beam on Nigeria's soil. Gloria Atta reporting for Clearview Television.
Well, if you're just joining us, you're watching the news on Clearview Television. The news returns after the break. Stay with us.
And our viewership keeps growing on our different platforms. We are inviting you to advertise your goods and services with us at incredibly low rates. And do you have news for us? Script or video? Please contact us through our email address, clearviewnewsroom@gmail.com, or WhatsApp line 080-650-30-300. Again, 080-650-30-300. Welcome on board.
You're welcome back. The scope of the ongoing probe of the suspended Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has reached 170 billion naira. Idris, who has been battling for bail, opened up on some top government officials allegedly involved in some transactions. The EFCC has grilled the permanent secretary in connection with some deals in which he was implicated. The anti-graft agency was also closing in on a minister who was fingered in the allegations against the suspended AGF. It was learned that Idris was arrested after he shunned 80 invitations by the EFCC. Spiritual head of Celestial Church of Christ Worldwide, His Eminence Reverend Emmanuel Oshofa, has admonished workers in the vineyard to join hands with him to move the church forward by carrying out their duties in obedience, love, and unity. The clergy made the admonition when he visited the Celestial Church of Christ Central Cathedral, Abuja, to restructure the administrative hierarchy of the Northern B region of the church. Clearview TV's Imefon Okon has the details.
Director, Publicity and Media, Celestial Church of Christ Worldwide, Superior Evangelist Kayode Ajala, said the visit of the spiritual head, His Eminence Reverend Emmanuel Oshofa, is to give Northern B a new lease of life and also put enduring administrative hierarchy in place.
Today we were at the Abuja Central Parish, where the pastor met with all shepherds under Northern B region and the Federal Capital Territory. That's the meeting that was just concluded, where some very powerful pronouncements were made considering the structure and hierarchy to be followed by the clergy of the church in this northern region. It's a very important region for us And expectedly, there are issues amongst the clergy. There are issues of submission to authority. There are issues of who and who to pay their pastoral returns to. There are a few issues which were clearly resolved today with the visit of the pastor.
Spokesman of the CCC Worldwide bared his mind on the message of the clergy to the church.
And the message of the pastor to the church as a whole is that we should maintain peace. We should not be provoked into any violent reaction. We should show love, even in the face of hostility and enmity. That's what the Bible teaches us. Love your enemies, pray for them. And that is what the pastor is preaching to the entire membership of the Celestial Church of Christ.
Superior Evangelist Kayode Ajala said Celestial Church of Christ Abuja Central Parish will serve as divisional headquarters, with Kubwa as second divisional headquarters, and the two headquarters report to the world headquarters of the church in Imeko, Ogun State. Imefon Okun, reporting for Clearview Television.
And that's all on the news, but before we go, a recap of the top stories. Former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi has emerged as the presidential candidate of the Labour Party after defecting from the PDP. This development is coming as former Abia State Governor warned the ruling All Progressives Congress from fielding southern candidates in the 2023 presidential election. Former Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Dakoku Peterside, has tongue-lashed Governor Nyesom Wike, referring to him as a local champion. This came after Wike lost his bid to become the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. We also told you that the scope of corruption of the embattled Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, has reached 170 billion naira. This discovery came up after the anti-graft agency, EFCC, placed the Accountant General under stiff interrogation. Remember to like us on Facebook, Clearview Television, follow us on Twitter at Clearview Online, follow us on Instagram at Clearview TV_NG, and also remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Clearview TV. Thank you for watching. I am Nkiru Omuli.